Hello, everyone. Welcome to your eclipse season reading. We are going to discuss the astrology first about each of the eclipses that are taking place. It's really important for you to understand. And so the first part of each sign's reading will be the exact same, explaining the astrology. I will leave a timestamp below if you want to skip the astrology portion, or if you watch for your sun, moon, rising, and north nodes so that you don't have to go through the astrology more than one time. But these eclipses are truly about endings, old cycles completing, release and healing through the full moon lunar eclipse we're having in Pisces on September 7th, and then the new moon in Virgo solar eclipse we're having on September 1st is about new beginnings, but it runs really, really deep. Okay, so for the Pisces full moon total lunar eclipse happening on September 7th, we're going to have 4 planets retrograde: Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And Saturn will have just moved back into Pisces in its retrograde position. So we're going to have Saturn in Pisces while we're having this full moon total lunar eclipse taking place. And Saturn is the great teacher. So you are truly coming to an end of an old cycle. Things that you've been working on for 3 years, 5 years, some of you maybe even 10 years, just depending on your own personal astrology. And the sun will be in Virgo, Mercury will be in Virgo, Venus will be in Leo, Mars will be in Libra, and Jupiter will be in Cancer when we're having this Pisces full moon total lunar eclipse. Check your personal natal chart and see which house is ruled by Pisces. And even if you don't have any planetary placement in that house, one of your houses is ruled by Pisces. And that's most likely where you're going to be having this closure, this release and healing, this completion of soul lessons, soul cycles, etc. It definitely can impact multiple areas of life, but the house that is ruled by Pisces is going to be the primary place you are experiencing this eclipse energy, as well as the messages that come through in the reading portion. Okay, and also eclipses are notorious for revelations, truth being revealed, and some of these doors that are closing you may be very excited about. And if there's a door that closes that you're not pleased that it's closing, just know that it's closing for great purpose, because something much better is going to be coming in for you. And the star of these eclipses is truly the Virgo new moon partial solar eclipse happening on September 21st. And the reason for that is we are having a grand air trine as we are experiencing this solar eclipse. And a trine is about mastery. Okay, so through the lunar eclipse, things that you've mastered, all of that is going to transform into wisdom within you, which is preparing you for the new path that this Virgo new moon solar eclipse is putting you on. Okay, and this grand air trine is going to involve Mercury in Libra at 1 degree, Pluto in Aquarius retrograde at 1 degree, and Uranus in Gemini retrograde at 1 degree. And now here is something pretty exciting. Both the sun and the moon are going to be at 29 degrees Virgo, which means they are right on the cusp of Virgo and Libra energy. In fact, later in the day, after the eclipse, the moon is going to move out of Virgo into Libra. Anything that sits at 0 degrees or 29 degrees is right on the cusp. So this trine is also including that sun and moon. Look up the astrology for September 21st and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And the sun and the moon are not the only energies that are on the cusp this day of the eclipse. We also will have Mars sitting at 29 degrees in Libra, which means it's cusping between Libra and Scorpio. And then also Neptune is going to be sitting at 0 degrees in Aries. It's currently in a retrograde position, so it's right on the cusp of Aries and Pisces. Okay, and so these cusp energies are also about out with the old, in with the new. Okay, so at the beginning of the month, that's big time changes, doors closing, soul cycles completing, things coming to an end. And some of you that have been really struggling emotionally, this is a time of deep, deep healing and release. And then when we come into the Virgo new moon solar eclipse on the 21st of September, that's the birth of a new you, a new version of you, and new lessons are going to be coming online. And this is also opening you up for new relationships, new experiences. Okay, and with the eclipse energy, sometimes it's just like right on point, things ending and new things beginning, and then sometimes it's a slower fade into that newer energy. And look to see which house in your chart is ruled by Virgo, because that is the primary place you're going to be experiencing all of this new energy. And overall, you are shedding an old skin and birthing into a new version of yourself all through September with these eclipses. And don't forget, the North Node is currently in Pisces, destiny, purpose, calling for this life journey, which you are learning, which you're striving for. And the South Node is in Virgo, which is past life energy, as well as, you know, all of your evolution and unresolved karma, unfinished lessons that carry into this life journey with you. So September is a very, very powerful time astrologically, and this is also a good time for you to decide, I'm letting the past go and I'm opening myself to new experiences. And if you want to do any sort of like candle ritual under the Pisces full moon lunar eclipse for total healing and release, I highly, highly encourage. And then if you want to do a candle ritual under the new moon energy to welcome in what it is that you truly desire to take place in your life, I also highly encourage that. All right, so that is the astrology that you are working with, and let's get into your reading portion. Hello Aquarius, welcome to your eclipse season reading. Let's get right into your messages. Let's see how these eclipses are playing out in your life personally. And if you need a personal reading, Kiri is running a sale on all of her readings this week. Link will be listed below. Let's get into this, Aquarius. All right, so we got the first house, Aries. Aries is the ruler of the first house, okay? And earth element with stability. Okay, Aquarius. So there's big, and you know what? Look at what's on the bottom. Saturn return. We're going to take that because this right here is where you are getting very in tune with yourself through these eclipses, okay? Where things have just felt out of balance, unstable in your life, you're getting very clear on that. And you are going to start caring about yourself so much more than you have been, okay? Aquarius is the humanitarian, which means you tend to put others' wants and needs and happiness before your own. And these eclipses are awakening you in such a way to where you're like, you know what? No freaking more. I am done with your crap. I am done accommodating you. Anybody who is not giving back to Aquarius the way that you give, it's just a very natural change happening inside of you that you can't stop, okay? Where you're going to start asserting yourself and you're not going to care the way that you've cared in the past. And here with Saturn, Saturn's been moving through Pisces, okay? And as Saturn's been moving through Pisces, I feel you've been even more accommodating to others' wants, needs, and happiness, okay? But Saturn is about to go into Aries, okay? It went into Aries, but it retrograde back into Pisces, so it's just a little bit of energy. In February, Saturn's moving into Aries, and it's going to be there for a while. In fact, let me tell you the exact timing on that. It's going to be in Aries until April of 2028, and then it's going to move into Taurus, okay? So these eclipses are really activating you, and when Saturn moves into Aries, you are a different Aquarius, okay? You're really going to be putting your foot down and not tolerating people's crap, because Saturn moving through Pisces had you all in your emotions. And now that's going to shift as Saturn moves into Aries. You are going to feel empowered. You're regaining confidence. You're regaining your sense of self, because remember, Aries rules the first house, and Aries is ruled by Mars, and that's your divine masculine energy. And your confidence is going to increase. Your self-empowerment is going to increase, because you're tired of the instability in your life that's caused by others. In fact, some of you may have some major revelations where you realize, you know what? I would have accomplished so much more if it wasn't for this person, or this person. Okay. And anybody, especially romantically, that has just been flaky with you, not meeting you halfway, not being there for you the way that you're there for them, any relationship that's in and out, Aquarius, you're done. And this is not something that you can stop. It's very natural. Like when somebody's pregnant, and it's time for the baby to come, the baby's coming, whether you're ready or not, right? It's coming. And that's what I see with this energy, is even if you don't want to have to call somebody out, you don't want to have to sever ties, it's just going to naturally unfold, because your sense of self is changing so much. And the way that you have loved and cared for and accommodated others, some of that energy is now starting to return to you, where you are realizing you are just as important as anybody else, and your happiness is just as important as anybody else. Where you've been giving, now you're going to be giving some of that love and energy back to you, and it's not selfish, okay? When Saturn was moving through Pisces, you may have felt bad or guilty or selfish, trying to assert yourself, put yourself first, anything like that. But now with Saturn moving into Aries, you're seeing things for what they are. And also Neptune's moving into Aries, okay? And I feel with Neptune, we have a tendency of putting on the rose-colored glasses, and Neptune's been moving through Pisces for like 15 years, okay? So as Neptune now also moves into Aries, the rose-colored glasses are coming off, and it's like you are seeing yourself for the first time. You're rediscovering your worth and your value, and you're realizing if you would funnel some of your energy into yourself, there is so much that you would accomplish and achieve. And so you're not going to be willing to accommodate others as much as you have been in the past. It doesn't mean you're turning into like a selfish jerk or anything, but you're realizing your worth and your value in a whole new way. And you're not going to be willing to compromise yourself as you have in the past. Yes, you're still going to be a great friend, a loyal companion. You're going to care, you're going to share. But the difference is when things get really out of balance, you're going to put your foot down, and you're not going to continue to accommodate another person to the detriment of yourself. Okay, whereas in the past, maybe you were, willing to do that and not seeing it for the self-destruction that it actually is. You're feeling like you're doing a good thing, helping somebody out, caring about them, forgiving them, trying to see the best in them, etc. But now it's all about you, because this is the first house, the house of you, and you got Aries sitting right next to that. Aries rules the first house, okay? So these eclipses are waking you up, and where you've been feeling really bad about certain things, you're getting over that too. There is a lot of stability that's going to be entering your life, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, as well as in the physical realm, okay? And this movement of Saturn's our great teacher and karma balancer, and you're just realizing things and so much more than I can even discuss in a reading. Like there's so many different scenarios, right? As this is a general reading, you are awakening in profound ways when it comes to you and who you are, and realizing I'm not here to serve everybody else. I'm here for me. This is my life, and I choose what I make of it. And I'm tired of being unhappy and sad and down and feeling left out and feeling empty, accommodating all these people. I can't do it anymore. All right. It's not to mean that you'll never be selfless and stuff like that in the future, but you're really learning the balance of those energies with these eclipses, which is going to restore a lot of stability and happiness in your life. So let's pull some tarot. Let's go deeper. The sun, yes, we like to see that. Oh, and you know what? Didn't Pluto move into Aquarius last year? Yes, Pluto is the planet of transformation. King of Swords, see, you are strong in yourself, Aquarius. Nine of Wands, perseverance. You're realizing if I wasn't carrying the weight and load of all these other people, I would achieve and accomplish so much more. Yes, see? Ace of Swords, realizations. And Three of Pentacles, stability returning for Aquarius. So this Virgo new moon solar eclipse taking place on the 21st is very activating and eye-opening for you. Okay, you're just going to start seeing things so differently, Aquarius. And like I said, you can't help it. You can't stop it. It's just a very natural energy that's taking place. And you've become very wise through your journey. And you're tired and you know things need to change. And now you finally feel like you have the strength mentally, emotionally, spiritually to enact those changes, okay? And this doesn't just have to be around others. Any of your current belief systems or patterns of behavior that you're recognizing are self-sabotaging, you're going to be making changes there as well. This is like a big upgrade for Aquarius. And here with the stability, the Three of Pentacles, things coming into place for you, things really balancing out for you. And it's time for people to be there for you the way that you have constantly been there for them. And this, the deep and great realization and revelation through the sun, through the Ace of Swords. And Ace of Swords is also about big time breakthroughs. Okay, so you are changing, Aquarius, but for the best, especially when it comes to yourself. And because of this shift in energy and perception, it allows you to reach for your dreams and your goals. And where you may have felt like all is lost, it's too late for XYZ at this point, you're not going to be in that mindset anymore. You're recognizing the endless potential and possibility for yourself, and you are reconnecting with yourself, reunifying with yourself in a very beautiful way. And you know, this King of Swords holding the sword like that, and the Ace of Swords, you might also be cutting some people off and cutting them out of your life because you realize, you know what, you're not on Team Aquarius. Okay, you're on your own team, and I can't ever count on you for a single thing. Like, I'm the one that's always handling it all. I'm the one that's holding it down. I'm the one that's keeping it together. And when I'm sad and when I'm down and when I'm broken, I'm the one soothing myself. You're nowhere to be found. So, big time revelation for Aquarius, but in the best possible way. And you are becoming so empowered. And also, different things of the past that have been troubling you. Big time revelations there. Deep healing and release. Things that were getting you down, not anymore. All right, Hanged Man, where we've been stuck. You're getting the insight, the activation that you need to see the truth for what it is. Rose-colored glasses are coming off. Judgment with inner calling. Beautiful. The Hermit, spiritual enlightenment. Yep. Six of Cups, reminiscence. And Knight of Pentacles, prevail. Okay. I feel this energy is very much unfolding for you between now and next February, when the sun moves into your sign, as well as Saturn moves firmly into Aries. Okay, is when all of this is unfolding for you, these revelations, and you're changing, Aquarius. And like I said, there's no stopping this because you've been in a bit of a holding pattern right here with Hanged Man. But this Virgo new moon solar eclipse is activating you, awakening you, and you're starting to see things differently. You're making different judgment calls with the Judgment. And then the Hermit, this is talking about the spiritual journey that you've been on since Neptune moved into Pisces like 15 years ago, and Saturn moving into Pisces like 3 years ago. Okay, and now you're coming to the end of 2 different soul cycles here. And you're going to have major breakthroughs, okay? And you're going to see the past through new eyes with this Ace of Swords. And this has been a slow-moving energy, a long, long journey. But you're going to be rewarded for it, okay? And there's a lot of stability that's going to return to your life, especially within yourself. Revelations and breakthroughs for Aquarius. No longer being held back. You're leaving that Hanged Man position. All right, 3rd house with communication. And the 3rd house is also about learning and communication. And see, you're going to start articulating yourself in a much different way. And then look at that 8th house, needed changes. Yup, the 8th house is the house of endings, beginnings, and major transformation, and is ruled by Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto has entered your sign, and it's going to be there for quite some time. Okay, but you're going to start articulating yourself and expressing yourself to others and having conversations and really asserting yourself and the changes that need to take place in your life, finally feeling like you have the energy mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and the strength to do so. All right, and so that's also about rebirth right there, that 8th house energy. Ooh, Aquarius, this is very fire, okay, with this Aries. Major breakthroughs, big revelations. Okay, you're not going to be the same, and this all unfolds between now and the end of February of 2026. So by the time your birthday is taking place, A whole new you is birthing forward, and this new version of you is empowered and strong and has a greater sense of self-worth and value like never before. All right, so those are your messages. I am sending you lots of love and light. Take care.